Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would speak about overeating. I think this is something that I've struggled with so much, and I know so many people have asked me this in terms of how have I overcome overeating? How do I control myself when it comes to food? And it's that feeling when there's a certain food in front of you and you just want to eat bowls and bowls of it until you get to that point where you're so full that you wish you hadn't eaten it. Why does that happen, and how can you really gain control of that? Something that I struggled with was pasta. I am a pasta lover, always will be, always have been. And it is something that I've really struggled with in terms of controlling how much I ate. I literally remember I would take one bowl and then finish all of that, and then take a second bowl and I would finish that. I would be feeling kind of full by this point. But I was like, oh, it tastes so good. Like, how can I not have another bowl, right? It's like that feeling of missing out. Like, if you don't have that third bowl, you feel like you're missing out in some way. And so I would take that third bowl, and by that point, I would just be so full, so stuffed. But in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, like, it's so good. Like, it is so good. And then you're thinking, like, your mind's like, oh my God, there's only a little bit left. Like, your family might eat it. Like, I might as well just have it now. So now you're on your fourth bowl. By that point, like, I'm like halfway in and I'm just completely full. I am so full. I almost feel sick to my stomach. Like, I've eaten so much food. Now it doesn't taste as good. Like, that feeling of like satisfaction is gone. Like, you thought that fourth bowl would give you so much pleasure, so much satisfaction, and that just wasn't the case. And this is something that I've really struggled with, and I've always wondered, like, why is that the case? Why does that happen? Why do I even get to that point where I'm just so stuffed and so full? So yeah, I'll be explaining all of that in this video. So I hope this will be helpful, and yeah. I have reduced my overeating by so much. Don't get me wrong, it happens. It happens, but I have reduced it and controlled it by so much, and I am able to control it a lot better because my mindset on overeating has changed. And it's these little things that has really impacted the way I see food and the way that it's not in a scarcity mindset, because that sometimes, and you don't realize this, that's sometimes how you may view food. And you may view it as if like there's not going to be any food left, as if you're not, like, this is it. Like, if you don't have this right now, you will never have it again. And that's like the mindset that I didn't realize that I was in. And so I've kind of written down 5 things that have really helped me reduce overeating, because it really does depend on what mindset you're in, and it depends on, you know, like, what you're telling yourself, because there are some times where I'm like, I do not care. I will eat the food that I want to eat. But there are times where I'm like, it won't provide any more satisfaction. And so then I just, like, the negotiating stops. I just tell myself, like, I'm eating this much and that's it, because my calorie deficit is this much and I'm not going over it. So you have to be a bit harsh with yourself, but you will have those times where you do overeat, and that is so normal. It's so normal on the journey, because no one's perfect. But these are some things that have really helped me to reduce overeating. The first thing is that I weigh everything that I eat. If I'm overeating, or if I know I'm going to overeat in the moment, and usually it happens when I'm just wanting to snack, when I'm just wanting to, like, grab a few things and just snack, that is when it gets out of control. And that is where I tell myself, and I have made a promise to myself, that I, no matter what, will weigh everything that I eat. If I want to overeat, or if I want to eat snacky things, which I know will add up to calories, I will weigh everything. That has helped me control my cravings a lot more, because then I am, even though I'm in this phase of like, oh, I just want to eat loads, the other side of my mind is like, okay, but Rama, you need to you need to weigh this, and you know that you need to calculate the calories. So just be a bit careful. Something that I've also done, you can calculate the calories later. I calculate the calories there and then. Because then I'm like, okay, if I just have like 5 less chips, I'm still in my deficit. I can have this, but I'm still in my deficit and it's fine. So you kind of do need to Make a promise to yourself that you will weigh and calculate the calories before you eat it. And even though in the moment it is so hard, like you are like screw this, like I don't want to calculate anything, you need to be disciplined in this area, because you may realize that what you've eaten may be less than what you're like thinking it to be. Because I remember I wanted nachos, right? And I was like, I'm not weighing it, I'm not doing anything to it. I had the nachos that I had, and in the back of my mind, I was like, I need to work out how many calories this is. So what I did was I took out another plate, I put in the amount of nachos that I knew I had eaten, and I'd weighed it. And so I put the nachos back into the bag, and I put in the grams and the grams into my diary, and it gave me the calories, and I was way under. I thought I had been over 500 calories, and I was spiraling in my mind. I was like, oh my god, like I've literally overeaten, like what have I done? But I hadn't. I was still in my deficit, and this is why I'm saying to weigh it all, because you actually may be under, you may be in your deficit. And this is what happens when it comes to overeating. You automatically think you've gone over your calories. You automatically think that you've just ruined it all. And that's where the spiral happens, because once you start overeating, then you're like, oh, I've ruined it. When you haven't, if you had calculated the calories, you would have realized that you haven't. But because you haven't calculated the calories and your mind is like, oh, I've done this in secret and I haven't actually weighed it, I'm probably over now. Then your mind's like, okay, screw it. Let me just have this. Let me have all the chips. Let me have like chocolates, cakes, cookies. Let me have it all because I've ruined it now. I might as well start tomorrow. That is not the mindset you want to be in. And this is why calculating and measuring it all out has helped me so much, because I'm like, I can have like the bag of nuts. It's still within my deficit. Like I can have it, and it's not me thinking like I've gone over. So yeah, if you are in that moment of wanting to overeat, just calculate the calories there and then. Calculate the calories, work out the grams. Or if you don't want to do it then and you just want to eat that amount of food, just have it. And have it without feeling guilty, but work out the calories after. And then after that, then you can kind of figure out, okay, for dinner, I can be a little bit lighter because I had a little bit heavier then. And that's when you can kind of figure out how much you need to eat and stay within your deficit. Doing all of that, that has helped me really control my eating, and I don't end up spiraling. The second thing that has helped me with like controlling my eating is this quote. And this is something that I heard from TikTok. It's not my quote. I saw it on TikTok and immediately was like, yeah, this is so good. And every time I feel like taking another bowl of pasta, I remind myself of this quote, and I'm like, no, like I'm not interested. I think about the feeling before I'm about to actually take another bowl. So that quote is, the food tastes the same whether it's a small plate or the entire bowl. Overeating won't make it taste better. That's crazy. The food tastes the same whether it's in a small plate or the entire bowl. Overeating won't make it taste better. And when you actually like deep that quote, you're like, it is so true, because taking that extra bowl of pasta makes you think, yeah, it's gonna really satisfy me, but it won't. Like it won't. It gets to the point where you're not even satisfied. You just feel sick to your stomach that you just eat another bowl. And why does that happen? And so this leads to my other point, which is the concept of diminishing marginal returns. This is something I learned in economics, and I realized this is so applicable to food, because what it means is essentially that the satisfaction you get from consuming more of something actually decreases as you consume more of it. So basically, that first slice of pizza is very satisfying, right? That first slice, you're like, oh my god, I'm so hungry, like this is exactly what I need. But each additional slice, the more you eat, the extra slice, let's say you're on your 5th slice of pizza, it provides less pleasure than that first slice of pizza, because your hunger is like it decreases, your hunger decreases, and therefore you think that the next slice of pizza is going to give you even more pleasure, even more satisfaction, when that's not the case. The satisfaction level actually decreases, and you end up just not wanting it because you've consumed so much of it. So I want you to think about, like, this has literally happened to me. Like, think about the time when you had overeaten, and how did you feel after you had overeaten? Were you actually really happy? Like, were you actually really full and satiated and just feeling great? Or were you a bit like, oh, I feel a bit lethargic now, like I feel really stuffed and I don't feel good? Because that is what it is. Like that last bowl of pasta that I was talking to you about, like, it doesn't make me feel good, because you think it will satisfy you. You think that next bowl of pasta will satisfy you, when it's all just in your mind. You just have this belief that the more pasta you have, the more you put in your mouth, the more it will satisfy you, and that's just not the case. And you just end up regretting taking that next bowl because it just didn't provide you with the satisfaction that you thought you were gonna get from that food, which is crazy. Like, I'm like, when I figured that out, I was like, that is so true. That is so true. And so every time I have pasta in front of me and a part of my mind is like, I am still a little bit hungry and I just really want another bowl, 2 bowls of pasta, I'm like, first of all, you've eaten how much you need to eat. Like, you don't need to eat anymore. You don't need to eat anymore, right? You want to eat more, but you don't need to. And the next bowl isn't going to give you, like, it's not going to satisfy you. It's not going to taste any better. It's not going to taste any better. In fact, it may taste worse because you're, like, at that point where you're completely starved. So yeah, I really, really do, whenever I'm in a situation where food that is in front of me is like my favorite food, I remember that quote, because I'm like, that is so true. And it has helped me a lot with overeating. The fourth thing that I want to speak about in terms of overeating it's a little bit different, but it has helped me a lot. And this is what I want you to do when you're feeling really motivated. Let's say you finished the gym and you're in your deficit, and let's say you've checked your weight and you've actually gone down. I want you to open your notes app and write down. Okay, I'm gonna just jump in. Basically, I'm editing this right now and I'm not articulating myself at all. The point of this basically letter to yourself is to help you when you feel like you want to overeat. You open this letter that you've written to yourself and you read it and you feel motivated again. You're like, no, like, we're not getting into the spiral. We're gonna, like, get back in state and we're gonna focus on our goals. Like, we're not gonna overeat. So what I want you to write in your notes app is essentially a read this when you feel like overeating. So I want you to write this when you feel motivated, when you've, like, just hit the gym, when you're feeling like at your best and you're like, oh my god, like, this, I am getting into shape, I am getting the body I deserve. Write about a paragraph. Mine's about half my notes app, like half a paragraph on helping yourself getting out of this overeating phase. So you basically want to say, like, hey, like, I understand you want to overeat. I understand you're in this mindset where you just want to eat. And I know you don't want to read this right now, but hear me out. Hear me out. You want this. You want this. I'm telling you right now, you feel like you want to eat the whole fridge. You want to eat everything, but you want this. Like, this is one of your biggest goals. You're nearly there. You're nearly there, Rama. Like, just keep pushing. Keep focusing on the goals. I know it's hard. Like, that kind of style. You want to basically motivate yourself and push yourself to get out of this overeating mindset. So yeah, I hope that helped. Think about what you would want to hear. Think about when you're in that mindset of wanting to overeat, what do you want to hear from someone? What do you want to hear from, like, a personal trainer or someone, or a mindset coach? What do you want them to tell you? You want them to tell you that, Rama, this is like it. You need to break your habit. You need to break that cycle of overeating, because if you keep overeating, if you keep doing the same thing, you keep keeping the same habits, you will see the same results. You will never lose weight if you do this. And you can choose to be harsh, you can choose to be kind of soft with it. And having this in your notes app and writing at the top, and I really recommend at the top saying, read this when you feel like overeating. And every time you feel like overeating, open your notes app and read that paragraph you wrote to yourself when you were feeling motivated. It helped me so much. Like, it's so easy to do, and just that simple paragraph can really just change your energy, can change your mindset, and just give you that shift that you needed. And it's all motivation that you have given yourself. You don't need it from anyone else. You've given it to yourself. So yeah, that's really helped me a lot. So hopefully that helps. And so after you've read that paragraph that you've written, then after that, then decide, is it worth eating? Like, give yourself some questions. Like, question yourself. Like, will this food give me the satisfaction? Is this food nutritious? Ask yourself those questions and be brutally honest. And if no is the answer to that, then you know what to do. But make sure you read that paragraph first, then decide. Don't just decide. You need to change your habits. And this is why I'm saying that there's a routine that you go through that makes you overeat. So if that routine is you know, seeing like food on TikTok, then immediately going to the kitchen, maybe you see the food on your TikTok, then you open the notes app straight away before you get to the kitchen. You need to break like a cycle, because if you carry on the same cycle, you will carry on with the same result. So you need to figure out what is going on, what is the pattern here, and break the pattern. That's how you will break your bad habits and form better ones. And then the last thing that has really, really helped me, again, it's a small thing and it has helped me a lot. So let's say you've made some food, let's say you've made pasta again, and find out, you figured out the calories and it's in your bowl, like you know how much you're gonna eat and that's what you're gonna eat. And let's say you've made like extra for you tomorrow, or you made it for your family or whatnot, and the extra is just sitting there in front of you. What I want you to do is pack that extra, put it in the fridge, pack it away, just put it away, because it is so easy to finish that bowl of food and then just kind of like sit there in your thoughts and just think to yourself, like, another spoon won't hurt, like another bowl won't hurt, like I can just eat a little bit more, like it's fine. No. When you know how much you're going to eat and you know this is 500 calories, I've got 500 calories left in my deficit, this is what I'm going to eat and that's it. When you pack the rest of the food away in the fridge, you don't, like, it gives you another, it breaks that cycle. This is what I'm talking about. You have a pattern. Break that cycle by just putting the food in the fridge, because then it's effort to go to the fridge, open up the fridge, put the food in the microwave. That's effort, and by the time you do that, you don't even want the food anymore. When it's in front of you, it's easy to just pick it up and put it in your plate. But when you pack it away and it's out of mind, out of sight, like, you don't even think about it. All you need to do is finish the food in your plate and put the plate in the sink, wash your plate and leave the kitchen. That's what you need to do. That's the cycle and the pattern that you need to bring. That's the habit that you need to start learning. Yeah, make it harder for yourself. Make it as hard as possible for you to get more food. Because if you make it as easy as possible, your mind's going to be negotiating. It's going to be like, oh, like, yeah, like I can just have a little bit more. I can just have a little bit more. No, you need to be a bit harsh with yourself. And you need to tell your mind, like, you've had your food, you've had that amount, you don't need to have more. But you need to make that shift in your mindset, and you need to think about, what will that healthier person do? What will the healthier you be doing? How would they approach this situation? So yeah, I hope that has helped. I hope that was valuable. These are things I genuinely do use when I feel like overeating, when I feel like my favorite food is in front of me, like I need to eat this. And these are some techniques that I like use to really control myself and figure out what's going in my mind, like what is happening and how can I control this hunger, this thing that I have of wanting to eat and eat and eat. But I do also just want to quickly add that this is a lot of mindset work. It is you having to figure out what is your pattern, figure out, why does overeating occur? Like, what is my pattern? When does it happen? And then what are your triggers? Like, what are your triggers? Finding out, is it when you're alone? Is it when there's a certain type of food in front of you? And then understand, like, what goes in your mind, what happens, what are the steps that lead you to overeat, And you need to break that cycle. You need to break that cycle. Whether it's taking a glass of water, whether it's just packing the food away, putting some music on, not thinking about it, just pack the food away. The more you think about it, the more you dwell on it, the more it just gets too much. It gets too much, and that's when your mind is like, screw it, I'm done, I'm eating this. And you don't want to get to that stage. You do not want to get to that stage. So yeah. That's just something that I wanted to add. It is hard. It is definitely really hard. And even after all this, like, I still struggle sometimes. Like, I am still on this journey. But I've learned a lot. Like, I've learned a lot. I've learned what my triggers are. I've learned that I need to break my patterns. And sometimes it's hard to do that. It's hard. Yeah, I hope that was helpful, and hopefully someone has gained a little bit of insight as to how to kind of go about overeating. And yeah. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.